Bunny, and in this video I will be showing you how to make some really tropical cupcakes with coconut and passion fruit. So to begin with, I want to make a passion fruit curd. So I'm sure you know lemon curd or lime curd. Well, you can make passion fruit curd. So I have here 6 passion fruit, and I've cut them in half, and what I'm going to do is scrape out all the seeds and put it into this little food processor. I have all the seeds and juice from my passion fruit, so I'm going to just give it a little whiz with this food processor, just briefly. And what that does is releases all the juice that's stuck around the seeds. There, that's it. Okay, going to pour it through. All that juice. For the rest of the ingredients, so we have all this juice here, beautiful color. To that, I have 75 grams of white sugar. Make sure it's fine, not overly granulated. And I have 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk. So immediately before you start cooking this, give this a good stir. Stir up everything. Now a lot of curd recipes call for just a ton of eggs, and personally I just don't like it. I can taste the egginess, and I know you put more eggs in because you want it to be thicker, but you need to take your curd far enough when you cook it, and that's how you can get a very thick, nice curd without tasting like egg yolks. I'm gonna turn on the heat, medium heat, and we're just going to keep on the dry ingredients. I have 100 grams of plain flour. To that, I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm going to add just a pinch of salt, or like 1/4 of a teaspoon. Let's mix that really well. I'm going to add my dry into my wet ingredients. Do about half. Give that a nice mix. And add half of my coconut mixture. Put that in there. Smells really good. Mixy mix. Okay, and the rest of your flour mixture. Until just combined. Don't want to overwork this. And lastly, the rest of coconut mixture. I'm going to get every last bit of this. Use a spatula. So I have 2 spoons. I'm just going to fill these up. And I like to fill them about 3/4 full. You don't want to do much more than that. You can do less though and have a smaller cupcake. It's fine. So for me, that's about a large spoonful and a half. That's what I'm doing in each of these. As you can see, this recipe makes 9 cupcakes. If you want more, just double it. That's not too complicated. And I'm going to put these in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. I'll test them at 16 minutes. We'll see if they're done. and I have my oven preheated to 175 degrees. So this is a much faster way of making curd. It's straight on the heat. You know, a lot of recipes say don't do that. I've never had mine curdle up. I've never messed up a curd making it this way. It is labor intensive though. So add your butter now and turn off the heat. You can take it off the heat as well. Use the strainer again. Here, if you wanted to, you could add in your seeds back into this. It looks really pretty. I just think it's a weird crunch. I don't really like it. But I think on top of the cupcake could be pretty cool. See, it's quite, look how thick that is. 2 eggs, that's it. It's great. It's not going to taste eggy at all. So now let's cover it, and you want to really press the plastic wrap onto the curd. Otherwise you might get like a skin on the top, and that's kind of gross. But it's not the end of the world, you can take it off. The coconut cupcakes, yummy. I love coconut. It's like my favorite flavor, one of my favorites. So I have here 85 grams of very soft, unsalted butter. And to that, I'm going to add 100 grams of fine white sugar. And I'm just going to beat this until it's light and fluffy. You could do this with a mixer as well. I don't think it's really necessary. Just use your muscles. That's great. And so now for the coconut part, I have full fat coconut milk and some desiccated coconut. This is unsweetened I'm using. If you can only find sweetened, that's okay. Maybe subtract 5 grams of sugar then, so it's not too sweet, though I don't think it would really make it that much sweeter. So we're going to pour that in there, give it a little mix, and this is going to help this coconut soften a bit. Now I think the sweetened variety is moister, so I think you could skip this step. I have not tested it, so you could just do this to be safe. And as well, what I'm going to add to that is half a teaspoon of vanilla, as well as half a teaspoon of coconut extract. I love this so much, but be really careful with it. Really don't add more than half a teaspoon to this, or else it can end up tasting a bit like fakey coconut. Or I think when you add just a little, it really just ups the coconut factor to this. If you can't find it, it's okay. It's still gonna taste coconutty, but with it, it's just, wow, this is coconut. It's fantastic. So just mix that up. To our butter and sugar mixture, I have 1 large egg. Put that in there and give it a really good mix. I'm gonna wash my hands. Cupcakes have cooled. They took about 17 minutes to bake. So now we can get on with the frosting. I have here 80 grams of soft unsalted butter. Put that into my stand mixer, and I'm just going to mix this for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's light. It's really light and fluffy, so I can add my sifted powdered sugar, and I have 180 grams. I'm just going to pour all of it in at one time. So, and then mix that on high for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then we're going to add the flavorings. Now and powdered sugar mixture is finished. So now for the flavorings, I'm going to do a little flavor swirl, and I'm going to do half as a coconut frosting and half as a passion fruit frosting. You don't have to do this, you could just choose one. I couldn't decide which one I should do, so I'm going to do both. So I'll start with the passion fruit one. I have here, this is totally optional, but just a little bit of orange gel-based food coloring. So, and we're going to add half of our mixture into a little bowl here. Okay. Just put a little of that orange in there. And for the passion fruit part, obviously we have our passion fruit curd we're going to add to this. So I'm going to start with a tablespoon and see how that goes. Yeah, I think I can add another half of a tablespoon. And yeah, it's always a good idea to taste test, and you can really taste the passion fruit. So passion fruit's done, delicious. 1 tablespoon of coconut milk, full fat, and again optional. I'm going to put a tiny bit of coconut extract, 2 drops. Okay, and then mix that up. And then we'll feel it ready. We have our frosting. Look, I got a nice little two-toned effect. I just put one frosting on one side and slid it down. And I have just a star tip. And I have some toppings, pistachios, and some shredded coconut, and also, delicious pistachio brittle. And I have another video and I'll show you how to make that if you so desire. It's so delicious. I'm trying not to eat it all right now. Passion fruit curd. Look at that. This has been setting for about an hour. And it will thicken up even more, but for what we're using it for, it's fine. So we're gonna put the passion fruit curd in our cupcakes. I'm just gonna cut a little hole out of each of these with a knife. You could also use an apple corer. I just don't have one of those. And you can snack on these later. I'm making a hole about that big. So yeah, just cut the holes out. So I just like to take a little teaspoon of the curd and just pour it in. Just like that. Yep. And just keep going. Some little roses. Now for some coconut, some pistachios if you like, or add some yummy pistachio brittle, or both. Stick that in. There you have it, a really delicious, I can't wait to eat one. Coconut, passion fruit, and a little bit of pistachio brittle cupcakes. Yummy. So I'm just gonna dig into these, so don't mind me. It's so good. Well, thanks for watching. Please please give these a try. You will thank me later. And I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye! They're really good.